let's go here. This question comes from @Tim Pranio. My biggest question is doing huge Roth conversions in the first few years of retirement when sequence of returns risk is the highest. I think that is a perfect reason to think through the framework that we've put here. And I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. It's always about looking at the evaluation and saying, can I afford it? The useful thing about the framework I've described in today's video is it just tells you whether you can afford it. Now, if you can afford it, we have a lot less to worry about with sequence of returns. One of the beauties of a dynamic guardrails spending capacity-based plan is it factors and models in potential market downturns. It tells you what you should be able to spend, incorporating the fact that you will experience market corrections over the course of your lifespan. And so if your projected spending capacity or your approved spending capacity tells you have surplus and you want to explore applying that surplus to Roth conversions, it's a much better framework to use because now we don't have to worry quite as much. We never don't worry about sequence of returns. It's just we don't worry that we're adding more damage and pressure to a potential sequence of returns event because that was approved budget capacity. And it was already factored into the modeled negative sequence of returns. So hopefully that makes sense. I think that is something that I haven't explained well in some of my videos. We'll do a better job of that over time. But I think it's a great reason to really consider Roth conversions. And I think I've done tons and tons of conversations with retirees. I think retirees are in a difficult position because they can't always articulate their concerns. We have subconscious intuitive concerns. This is natural, right? Retirees are approaching retirement once for the first time and for the only time in their entire life. I'm going to watch 1,000 or 10,000 retirements. The retiree that's expected to come and be able to articulate all their concerns perfectly is almost being asked to be a superhero retiree. I don't expect that of people. And from that perspective, I think it's a totally viable concern to express your concern the way you have @Tim Pranio, because that is a legitimate concern and it should not be overlooked because it implies an understanding that Roth conversions cost you something today that you're going to pull from the future and that there is a compounding effect if we have bad market events. Now, what we need from there is just to have a framework through which to evaluate it. We don't want to make a decision based on fear, therefore never evaluate it. And we don't want to make a decision based on ignorance and therefore never evaluate it. And I find that oftentimes those are the two forks that happen. We either ignore something because it doesn't fit our narrative, or we make a decision out of fear because we're overwhelmed by the possible spectrum of things we'd have to explore. And my hope in why I make videos like this and do these lives is like we can get into the texture of this and hopefully eliminate the possibility that people will make decisions based off of ignorance and eliminate or reduce some of the anxieties and fears people have so they feel like they have a more controlled way to evaluate the decisions in their life. All right. So as not to create an incentive for people to only show up late to the live stream, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the live stream now and answer 2 questions from the very beginning. So that way everyone knows that I might do a pop quiz and answer some of the early questions, not just the late question. Real quick, let me show you the exact 3-pillar comprehensive retirement roadmap that takes retirees from uncertainty to peace of mind that less than 1% of retirees actually have in place. Now, I've built hundreds of these for retirees, and I can say with a high degree of confidence that these are the 3 pillars every retiree needs to have in place in order to have full confidence that they're not missing anything in their retirement plan. And I broke each of these down by the specific questions. You can see them here that each needs to be answered and the best way to answer them. Now, we've done this across pre-retirees, recent retirees, married couples, single retirees, $1 million portfolios, $10 million portfolios, all the above, and it works. And it's my gift to you today. It's absolutely free. It's in the first link in the description below this video. It's going to say free comprehensive retirement roadmap training. Just click the link, enter your info, and you'll get instant access all for free.